Welcome back to another business and life lesson with Christian and Pride Roofing and Construction. Today I'm going to talk about, I've dubbed this video the silent killer. Okay, and this is very relevant to your business life, just like it's relevant to your personal life. So I think this is some great information. So listen up. Okay, so in life, silence can be one of the most deadly things that you have to deal with. And what do I mean by that? Silence is a killer. It is like cancer. It spreads toxins within the water. It spreads disease within the body. And you don't know that it's happening until it shows its ugly face in the form of whatever that it is. So what do I mean by this? Silence can cause extreme issues within your relationship. Let's say you and your loved one, your spouse, whoever, somebody that you hold intimate and dear in your life, you guys have some kind of problem. And instead of the problem coming out in the form of vulnerable and raw and emotion-filled conversations where you hear each other and you exchange and you find a medium or a middle ground of some sort where you become better as a group, you let it fall silent. And neither person takes accountability. Neither person, really addresses that issue. It's an elephant in the room at all times. You know that it existed, but it's never really been squashed. That can create what's called resentment in a relationship. I know, fellas, we're really good at creating these things when we think we're right. And you got a headstrong woman who thinks that they're right. Whatever the case may be, resentment can then boil and fester into a cancer inside of your relationship, and it causes an extreme problem for you in your emotional connection with your partner. It causes a lot of problems. I wanted to bring that first because everybody watching this video could probably feel that. They've done this a time or two. They've not held themselves accountable to something. They pushed it under the rug and they've let this cancer grow in their personal life. Let's talk about how this affects your business, okay? First, I'm going to talk about your employees. As an employer, you have to do everything within your power to create an open door policy or create an environment where people feel comfortable enough to voice their opinion, voice their concern, have a little bit of dialogue about the things that fester inside their brains. Otherwise, that silence, where their inability to talk to you because maybe you feel like you're so much better than them, or maybe they feel like you've created an environment where you just are untouchable and unreachable, or whatever that it is, which is a failure on your part. They've created this gap between you and them, and then they sit and they fester. Now, that festering, this is a problem, and we'll relate to this later in this video, but this is a problem because they're left to create a perception in their mind and assume exactly what's going on in your decision-making powers or patterns as an organizational head, as a manager, what have you. So they're creating an assumption, and human nature is to go to the negative side of that assumption. Okay, so if they can't reach you for X reason, their thought process behind it generally tends to make you not the hero that you potentially are for creating, this opportunity for them to feed their family and give them, a growth pattern or, help develop them professionally. It tends to make you look like you are the GOAT. And I'm not talking about the GOAT like Michael Jordan, right? The best of all time. We're not talking about that type of GOAT. We're talking about that freaking Billy GOAT, right? You are nothing to them because you did not create an opportunity for their voice to be heard. You created silence, and that silence was a killer with your relationship with somebody who could have potentially been an amazing asset and an amazing investment inside your organization. Let's take that further. Same thing can be said for your clients. Around here, Pride Roofing and Construction, we have a lot of mottos. I've said this in these videos before. And one of them is over communication is proper communication. And I'll give you a plain and simple example. If you are a client and I am a salesperson and I do everything within my power to follow up and I do a great job of getting to the point where we sit down and you trust me enough to put ink on paper and say, I'm doing business with you, right? And then all of a sudden I stop taking your phone call. I stop checking in with you. I stop asking you, how the project is progressing if I don't have my hands on that project because we use project managers and we have separated tasking, right? If I don't check in with you whatsoever, I'm leaving room for silence in my relationship with you, which means I'm creating the opportunity for assumption and for you as a client to create a perception of me as the representation of the organization. If you don't put a stop to this and train your personnel to treat every part of the job just as important as signing the contract or collecting the check, if you don't train your people to over communicate and allow them to set good expectations, teach them the right ways to have a transfer of dialogue at all times for all reasons that allow your client to feel comfortable and taken care of. And so they don't have that, let's think for a little bit. What could they be doing in the background? They sign the paper, they're just a salesperson, right? That takes away everything from you as a business owner. If your salesperson creates the perception in your client's mind that all we wanted was ink on paper and then we were going to run away with their money, is that what you really put your time and investment into? I know it wasn't my time and investment. The blood, sweat, tears, everything that went into building this organization can be taken away from you because of the silence that's created inside of that relationship with your client. So boil this concept down. Conversation and communication is of paramount importance in every facet of your life. If you don't let things fester at home, your relationships are going to be better. If you transfer information inside your organization and create a comfortable work environment, your employees are going to feel better. There's going to be less turnover. They're going to feel comfortable and they're going to want to come to work. And you do the same thing with your clients, and you create an open door policy with your clients, and you never allow silence to, bring its ugly head inside, right? You are always going to not only provide the service that you've worked diligently as a business owner to be able to create, you're going to be able to provide that service, but you're also going to be providing customer service. And really, that's where the bonus happens. That's where the magic happens. In every area of business, the best form of marketing is word of mouth. And that is the only way to get there, is for showing up for your client, never opening the opportunity for perception and those negative thoughts to enter. So this is Pride Roofing and Construction with our business and life lesson. Don't let silence become a cancer that it can be. Have the conversation. Admit your faults, be transparent, be accountable to whatever it is. Let's have the conversation. Let's not leave opportunity for people to create the reality that you live inside. This is Pride Roofing and Construction. Christian Griffith with business and life lessons. Please like and subscribe, engage in the content, get out there and become better people. Let's catch you on the flip side.